All right, we're talking Red Sox with Bill Koch of the Providence Journal. Big sweep of the Yankees. First time in 10 years they've swept the Yankees in consecutive series. Cora afterwards saying it was the team's best series of this year. Do you agree?
Sure, why not? They're a season best 16 games over 500 now, 6-0 against the Yankees, building distance between them and New York, and back in first place a half game ahead of the Rays. So I would say, compared to everything else they've gone through this season, they're in the best position that they've been in. So why not?
Now, we know Red Sox-Yankees isn't what it was in 03 and 04, but still from a psyche standpoint in the standings, all the other Red Sox-Yankees dynamics at play, how big is it to sort of have the Yankees' hand so far this year?
I think it's just another piece of validation, Yanni, that this is a decent team and that they're not easily going to go away. The Yankees were the preseason favorites in the division along with the Rays, and you see the Red Sox building some daylight between themselves and New York, and I think it just gives the Red Sox a little additional confidence here. And I think that any of those markers that they can touch along the way here in 2021, considering how bad last season was, I think any of those milestones that they can reach are encouraging both inside and outside the clubhouse.
And Cora saying, dating back to that last loss against Tampa, the 3 games against New York, really 4 straight games of really good pitching. Is this sustainable for these arms to put in the performances that we saw from an Eovaldi yesterday, we saw from Eduardo Rodriguez today, and so forth?
It's good to see them turn it around because they were in real trouble throughout most of June. The starters had a really difficult time getting anything established. We'll see what happens with Garrett Richards on Monday night. We know his struggles with the ball and MLB's crackdowns on foreign substances and how much that's affected his last 2 starts. But I think most encouraging, Yanni, to see Eduardo Rodriguez win his first game since May 7th. We entered the season thinking he was going to be a big piece of this rotation, and what he could contribute would make a big difference between the team this year and the team last year. So to see him go out, pitch well for 6 innings, he only gave up a 2-run homer to Aaron Judge. I think his performance going forward would add a lot to the current group they have.
Red Sox AllStar finalists announced: Xander Bogaerts, JD Martinez, Alex Verdugo, Rafael Devers. Who of that crop do you think ultimately gets in?
Certainly Bogaerts, Devers, and Martinez. I think Bogaerts and Devers are leading their position groups in voting so far, and I think they would both deserve to start. Martinez, the only reason he's not leading among the designated hitters is Shohei Ohtani is in front of him. And I would imagine that Ohtani would be added to the pitching staff, and you could probably squeeze Martinez onto the roster as a DH. In terms of Verdugo, Yanni, I'd have to take a closer look at the outfielders. He's been good. I'm not certain how his numbers stack up with the rest of the league. I would assume, though, that Matt Barnes would probably be the 4th player if the Red Sox were to get 4. I would think that the American League manager would select him to the pitching staff. He's been good at the back end of the Red Sox bullpen.
Dustin Pedroia honored this weekend after a tremendous career with the Red Sox. What are your lasting memories of Petey?
I think just a guy who maxed out, a guy who got every single ounce out of his body. If you looked at him walking down the street, you would never believe that he was a professional athlete. And so the way that he played, the passion that he showed on the field, the way that he was able to inspire his teammates through his performance, the fact that he won 3 championships here, he was Rookie of the Year here, a Most Valuable Player here. I would say that that's a guy who throughout every single day of his career gave the Red Sox and the fan base the absolute most that he could. And I think in a lot of ways, Yanni, that's probably the best legacy that any athlete could leave.
Absolutely. A fan favorite for sure. Everyone loves the Boston athlete that is a dirt dog, so to speak. All right, let's look ahead to this Royals series. The Sox lost 2 of 3 to KC fairly recently, a team that's well under 500. What do you see happening in this series here at Fenway?
Well, I certainly did not expect the Red Sox to lose 2 out of 3 in Kansas City, and that's where we were. So I would like to see Boston continue building on its momentum here with Kansas City coming in, win at least 2 out of 3 here at Fenway Park. The major question mark is Monday when Garrett Richards takes the ball again. You wonder if he's able to make some sort of adjustments, if he's able to find some sort of command, some sort of secondary pitches, maybe spot his fastball a little bit better. I think that's a big start for him coming up tomorrow night, just in terms of what he's put out there the last 2 times. And, ultimately, maybe if he can give them something, against Kansas City. Maybe he sets the tone for the upcoming series.
Last one. I know you were at the North Kingstown Coventry game today. What are your final thoughts as this spring season wraps up in the Interscholastic League? Kudos to the league for getting all these championships in this season with the fall two right before it. Sort of tying a bow on the high school season today.
I'm happy that the kids got a chance to play, because I can only imagine when I was in high school or in college how devastating it would have been to lose a year. I have an incredible amount of admiration for the coaches, for the administrators, for the parents, for getting through this, their patience, their resourcefulness. I think it's the hardest year that they're ever going to have. And so for them to get sports on the field, have fans in the stands ultimately at the end, they all deserve an immense amount of credit. And Yianni, I would say the last thing is I hope we never have to do something like this again. I hope that, come the fall, we have a normal season with soccer and football and field hockey and all the things that we normally cover, and we go into 21-22 just normal as we were before.
That would be great. But yeah, it was a memorable season to say the least, but it's all done, and kudos to the champs and everyone participating this year. All right, he's Bill Koch from the Providence Journal. Thanks so much. Talking Red Sox and the high school on this Sunday night. We'll have much more from the show coming up right after this.